Nikola Jokic has now won his third and most controversial MVP award. Now, voting-wise, there's not much controversy. I mean, if anything, Nikola Jokic ran away with this award. But of course, it was none other than Shaquille O'Neal to have a problem with Jokic winning this award.
I thought the SGA should have been the MVP. That's no disrespect to you.
I mean, I think we can all agree that clip is just weird. I mean, the dude just won his third MVP. This is him literally accepting his award for something so historic. Only a handful, I think it's only 9 players, have won that many MVPs. And the first thing you say as Shaq, one of the best big men in NBA history, is, hey, no disrespect, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should have won this MVP. And I have some of my own speculations as to why Shaquille O'Neal would say such a mean and disrespectful thing. Yes, even though he said no disrespect, I promise you that was still disrespectful. I feel like it's kind of because Jokic winning this award starts some very interesting conversation. Ones that Shaq specifically doesn't like. That being the title for best big man in NBA history. Now, it is worth noting that Shaq doesn't actually see himself as the best big man in NBA history. He personally says that Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar are the 2 greater players, the 2 players that are above him in all-time rankings. But we've heard Shaq talk about respecting those who came before them and overall just showing the utmost respect for the older players, the players that he looked up to as a kid while trying to make his way into the NBA. But when it comes to the other way around, Shaq mentoring these younger players, we also know that he has a rough history with that as well. But this video isn't about Shaq being butthurt because Jokic is such a good center. No, this is about Jokic winning the MVP award and how this affects his career and legacy. Because to me, Jokic had a good season, and I don't want to sound disrespectful here, thank you Shaq, but I don't think it was the best season ever. Granted, it was just like a couple of his other MVP years that we've seen from him. I don't want to make it sound like he shouldn't have won, or I don't want to like undermine the fact that he had an MVP year and overall is one of the best players, if not the best player in the NBA right now. I understand everything like that, but when mentioning some other players, I just don't know if I have him over those players, which we will get to in a bit. But for right now, I do just want to give Jokic his flowers and the most respect he deserves because he did win the award. Jokic has taken the Denver Nuggets to heights I don't think they would have ever expected when drafting him while looking at a big chalupa in their face. I don't know if it was actually a chalupa, but god damn, that just made me hungry. But yeah, I almost don't know what to say about Jokic because I feel like we've been having these conversations for the last like 4 years, ever since he won his first MVP. It's like every single year we kind of have to say the same thing over and over again. He is just legendary. Like I genuinely, I struggle to come up with what I should say next because we've heard it. We heard it last year. We heard it the year before. He is consistent. He is reliable. Those are 2 of the biggest things in the NBA, and Jokic is both of those. That being said, I know damn well Jokic does not care about this MVP. He doesn't care about Shaq talking shit towards him. He doesn't care about any of this. And that is what is so special about Jokic. But at the same time, a little bit annoying. I know that a lot of people were annoyed after he won back-to-back. They were like, dude, can you care about something? Like, can you care that you won an MVP? So yeah, Jokic doesn't really care about any of this. All he cares about is winning championships and winning for Denver, which is just special to see, no doubt. But I'm just gonna answer the biggest question we've been hearing about Jokic and about where he ranks all time, because I've seen JJ Redick, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon A. Sharp all ask on Twitter, yo, King Charge, where do you have Jokic ranked on the all-time big men list? And I know everyone's been waiting for it, and me personally, I don't know, I think I have him like probably like number 4 all time. When you look at all the other centers in the league, I don't really count anything that happened before the 70s. I'm so sorry, Wilt Chamberlain, and I'm so sorry, Bill Russell. That being said, there's still players like Hakeem and Shaquille O'Neal himself, and also Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that I do count in my list of real players. You also have David Robinson on there. By the way, I'm not counting Tim Duncan as a center, so get that out of the comments, please. But what could really set Jokic apart from all these other guys and honestly push him to be maybe the 2nd or 3rd best center in the NBA history is to win more than 1 championship. That's one thing that all the greats have done before. That's the one thing that has separated them from everyone else. They could win MVPs, they could get all NBA selections, all the other fun stuff that comes with being a superstar, but it is the championships that matter the most. Do I think the Nuggets are going to win it this year and Jokic is going to enter those conversations? I'll just let you watch the video up in the top right so you can see what I think about that. But going back to the intro of this video, you might be thinking to yourself, why should I care if Shaquille O'Neal thinks this MVP should have gone to someone else, or if he finds it to be a controversial award? Well, to be honest, you shouldn't really care. Instead, you should care that I find it controversial. Yes, you heard me. Don't care about the NBA legend that has been doing this probably 3 times longer than I've been alive. Instead, worry about a basketball take from a guy that sits in his room in the dark watching these games. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the runner-up for this year's MVP. And part of me wants to understand this. Like, I do understand that they jumped up in the standings, and I do understand why he is so high up in this year's voting. I mean, he was in MVP conversations last last year as like the goddamn 8th seed or 6th seed or some shit like that. I think it may have been even lower. So for the Thunder to jump insanely high in the standings, and also for SGA to have another career year, there's no doubt he was going to end high up in the, you know, overall MVP rankings. But I feel like a lot of these voters see SGA and just know that he's gonna be back. They know that he's young and he's gonna probably have a lot more opportunities and chances to be in this same position where his name is mentioned in these conversations. I mean, the guy is only 25 years old and has already had a season where he averaged 30 points per game. I could see him possibly having a season where he averages like 34 points a game. And I mean, at that point, you just can't not win MVP. Wait, Luka Doncic averaged how much? Yep, I don't care what anyone says. Luka Doncic was and is still my MVP. And you know what? I'm not even embarrassed to say that I am saying that purely based off of numbers, the statistics, the season averages. I'm not embarrassed to say that because, to be honest, that's all this MVP award is. None of these guys that are putting in these votes are going back and watching footage and seeing how they matched up against this player and how they play. No, it's just seeding, it's season averages. That's all it is. And for Luka to put up the numbers that Luka put up, I mean, damn near putting up the same amount of numbers, if not more than Jokic in every single category, to not win it is ridiculous. And I know that this is very like minor, but if we want to talk about season achievements and things that happened throughout the year, Luka put up a game with 73 points. But since all the voters just want to throw away everything Luka has done this season, let's at least look at where the team is. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like the Mavericks weren't a play-in team or a low-tier playoff team throughout the majority of the season, but they ended the season as the 5th seed in the Western Conference, with them only being 1 game behind the 4th seed. So the way that I really look at these top 3 candidates is like this. I look at SGA as having good stats with the best record in the league. I then see Jokic as having great stats with the best record in the league. And then there's Luka with amazing stats with a mid record in the league. And having that as the outline, I really leave it to you guys to decide who you think your MVP is. And what exactly do you consider to be valuable? Do you consider team performance to be valuable? Personal records, points, rebounds, assists? Let me know everything in the comments. But even if you guys don't have Jokic winning MVP, or I don't have Jokic winning MVP, none of that matters, because at the end of the day, he won and he deserves every single bit of respect that comes with winning that award. Even though I do think this will 100% be the last time he wins this award, because voter fatigue is going to kick in even harder than we all could imagine. That being said, hope you guys all enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe and click this video up on the screen. It should be me talking about the Timberwolves and Nuggets series. So if you want to hear me talk about that, go ahead and click it. It's a really good video. All right, later.